What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Thank you guys for joining me. If you are a first timer, then welcome to you guys. This strategy, what I use, what I teach, the Strat, is going to change the way that you guys have ever traded before. It's going to put the profits back in your pocket because this strategy doesn't really use, a whole bunch of indicators on it. Doesn't really use any indicators. We use what we've got here with our time frame continuity and maybe these yellow inside bars and the white outside bars, all part of something that I created for you guys. I'll talk about it a little later, but no indicators. We use what the candlesticks tell us to do, and it really is that simple. And when you guys simplify trading, trading becomes simplified. So let's go through a couple things and then we can get started. The number one thing, the screen that you see on here right now, that is TradingView. So if you've never used TradingView before, then down in the link in the description, there's a link for you to try out TradingView for free. It gives you a free 30-day trial, and then if you decide to use it, it gives you up to $30 off of that subscription, depending on which one you choose. So make sure you guys take advantage of that offer. You can get a hold of me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. You can leave me comments or questions in the chat while we are live, or in the comment section after this video is no longer live, or you can do it in the Discord. I do have a Griswold Trading Discord. That link is also in the description below, and everything that I offer you guys, whether it's free or fee-based, it can be found in that Discord. So it's 95% free. There's a bunch of rooms in there. They're all free for you guys. There is a paid portion of that if you are interested. It's $50 a month, or you buy 2 months, you get 1 month free, and it includes a 1-hour Strat course that I've created. Live one-on-ones with me. It includes a live trading bot that I've set up for you guys, so it sends out live trades on the 5, 15, 30, and hourly charts on different setups on tickers like QQQ, SPY, Tesla, Disney, NEO, okay, and a bunch of others. So that's all included with the Griswold Gold membership, as well as the top 5 setups that I give out to you guys from these watch lists. So I usually give out all the setups that I've got from my main watch list, and then the top 5 go to the Griswold Gold members. So let's get started on this list, and we're going to start with Fubo. So Fubo's got this inside bar. So inside bars are really important. They're something that really helped me really set up my profitability when I started trading options. So it's really what really worked for me the best. And I always tell people, if you're new to trading or you're struggling, then you should be looking for those inside bar setups. Oops, I'm on the 4 hour there. Let's move those back. Give me a second here, guys. So when you see these yellow bars, again, they're part of the indicator that I've created, and you don't have to be a Griswold Gold member to get this indicator. You can buy it separately. It's $25. You get it for life. If there's ever any upgrades to it, there's no extra fees. You just get it for life. So this indicator paints these inside bars yellow, or these 1 bars you see here. Where are we here? Right here. 1 bars, 2 bars, 1 bars, 2 bars. There's also 3 bars, which is an outside bar. So these numbers are also part of the indicator. So I've taken all the Strat indicators and I've wrapped them into one. But when you see these yellow bars, these inside bars, I want you guys to think of a spring being loaded, compacted, squished, brought together, however you want to say it, like a jack-in-the-box. And then when that gets released, when that force gets released off of that spring, you look for a big explosion. Something to the effects of what you see here off of this inside bar, where we broke to the downside, we triggered, and we hit targets. And that's exactly what we look for off of the inside bar. So we have a couple things here. This is an inside bar. We've got, I would rather see it green because this is a hammer candle. And a hammer candle is when you have this body and then you have a wick below it that is at least 2 times the length of the body. So that's what we've got here, hammer candle. It is more probable that a hammer candle becomes bullish if it's green. Now we have a red one, so it's less bullish, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a hammer candle and it is an inside bar. So we can look at for calls at 236, puts at 221, and then the targets just go to the highs and the lows of the previous candle. The problem with the high for this one is if we go and take this target and put it to this candle, right? Let's highlight that, put it there. It is exactly the same. Okay? So it's, the highs of this preceding candle and the inside bar candle are the same. So then we would just move that to the next highest wick like so. So that's the setup on Fubo. Now this video is not going to be very long. There's not a bunch of setups on here. Beyond was red when I set this up, so we're going to take Beyond off of this list. And we'll move on to AMC. AMC is and again, this one was a 2 down green when I started. Now it is a 2 down red. So we're going to take AMC off of the list and we'll move to Disney. There we go, Disney, 2 down green. So a 2 candle, ladies and gentlemen, a 2 candle is a directional candle. So we only break sorry, Marlon B just said Jack in the Box. You make me hungry when you say that. Well, I'm not talking about the restaurant. I'm talking about like the Christmas toy. Like on the movie Elf. Anyways, 2 down green on Disney. A 2 candle is a directional, meaning it only breaks one side of the previous candle. So in this case, it was a 2 down, but we finished green. So when we have these 2 downs that finish green, we look for it to trend back to the upside. Now, it doesn't always happen that way. There's plenty of examples. Here's a 2 down green, and we continue to trend down. Here's a 2 down that finished green, albeit a shooter candle, opposite of a hammer, we continue to trend down. So now that we have a 2 down green with a hammer candle, we're going to look for Disney to come back to the upside. We're going to look for triggers at 102.05, and the first 2 targets I have marked out for you guys at 102.56 and 103.73. We move on to Macy's. Macy's with the inside bar. So Macy's has full time frame continuity to the downside. I'm going to change this target to green for you guys and for myself. Full time frame continuity to the downside. We are trending down. We can look for calls at 21.12. First target at 21.22. Puts at 20.56. First target at 20.55. I would like to see this target down further than what we are here. It's only a penny. So I would look for it to hit this second target to the downside. We are 2 down on the week. We've broken through that the pink trigger here, which represents my 2 down on the week. And Macy's looks like a good setup for Friday, a good setup for Lotto Friday. We move on to AFRM. AFRM, we're going to remove that one from the list. I don't like the way it finished on the day. And we will look at AMD. So again, AMD, 2 up that finished red. So it's a directional candle. We went up. We're going to look for this thing to trend back to the downside. We're going to look for puts at 77.97 and first targets at 75.92. Marlon B, I want to thank you. You're always one of the first ones in here, and you're always commenting in the live chat. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. AMD to BIDU. BIDU has this 3-1 setup. So essentially, we are looking at just an inside bar, which we discussed and we talked about already. We can look for the highs of 141.22 to be broken for calls, or puts at 136.30. And we have great targets, great order of magnitude to the high side and the low side on this. So a really good setup. And it's got that outside bar. So you notice it's painted white, part of the indicator I was talking about. It's also painted gold to let me know that there's a 3-1 setup here. It's a rare pattern, and it doesn't happen very often. So we can go back in time and look at the last one. It was right here in November, and it did trend down. It gapped, though, so they don't always work. Here's another gap down. Here was a gap up. So it looks like BIDU, from the past 3 anyways, has gapped off of these 3-1 inside bar, outside bar, inside bar 3-1 setups. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have a setup here. Okay, so what that means when the setup gaps or a stock gaps in the morning, it just means we open above either one of these ranges, either above the trigger or below the trigger. We open above the high of the previous candle or below the low of the previous candle. And when we have that, there are setups on how to play those as well. I've got a series on it. I've got 3 or 4 videos on it. So make sure you guys go and check it out. You're essentially playing opening range breakout, an orb. So I have, like I said, a bunch of videos. Make sure you're checking those out. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. So when you click on the bell, that will send you guys the notifications for when I am going live. And I'm trying to do it about 4 o'clock Eastern every day is what my goal is, to have these out every day at 4 Eastern. So if you're not subscribing and you're not clicking on the bell, be aware that 4 o'clock Eastern is usually the time I'm coming on to do these lists now. Now, CVX 2 up red, we've got full time frame continuity. I've talked about CVX all month and how it's been trending down, and it's been in a downward spiral. So we have this little reversal. We're going to see if we trend back to the downside. So 2 up that finish red. Full time frame continuity to the downside. This is important. If you don't know what time frame continuity is, guys, I have a video. It'll be posted at the end of this one shortly after we're done being live. I have to add it in. But if you don't want to wait, you can go into the videos on my channel and you can find it in there. Time frame continuity, TFC. Puts to the downside 160.56 and first targets at 158.91. Marlon, I'll get to Apple at the end, okay? We'll check through it at the very end. eBay, 2 down red. We can call that a shooter candle. Big gap down. So we're going to look for calls back to the upside at 45.89. And the gap is what I mean here, guys. We don't have, this was a gap play. So you could have gone and played this probably on the 15-minute candle. I'm not going to go through it, but I look at it off of the 15-minute orb, the opening range breakout, the opening 15-minute candle. Okay, but we had a gap here. So when we're looking at this for tomorrow with the 2 down red, we can look for calls back to the upside at 45.89. And instead of our targets going to the top of the candles like they normally do, we put them at the bottom to start filling that gap. And those become our targets until the gap is filled. So here is one, and then we don't have the next one till up here at 47.40. But after that, our targets can then go back to the tops of the wicks, okay? That's the setup on eBay. We move on to INTC with the inside bar. We are 2 down on the week. I know that because these are my 2 pink lines that I set up for the weekly inside bar. We went 2 down on Tuesday. This is Wednesday's candle. Here's Thursday's. We finished inside bar. So we're going to look for a continuation to the downside. That's what I would look for anyways, based on time frame continuity and the way the week has gone. But we still do have that opportunity to trend back up. So you could look for calls at 26.08. The higher probability trade is to the downside at 25.32. And you have to go back in time to find the next closest target. So I don't think that's it. We'd have to mark it there, but let's move it down. I think that's your next closest target. It is. Okay, so 24.59. A $1 move would be your next target on Intel. So not to say that we hit that, but you can set this up on the daily and then go manage it on a smaller time frame, whether that be the hourly, the 30, the 15, the 10, the 5. I like to do the 5. So any of my trades that I set up, whether I'm setting the triggers and targets on the daily, the hourly, I really love the 15. I'm a 15 and 5 guy. So I set up most of my trades on the 15. And then I will manage it on the 5. Okay, that's how I trade. I don't need to catch the very tops. I don't need to catch the very bottoms. I just need to catch something. Okay, you get enough base hits, and eventually you're going to bring in the runs that you need to give yourself support. Okay, so base hits, small base hits, 20, 30, 40, 50%. Those are fantastic trades. They're fantastic days. If you can trade. Let's say you're trading with $100 a day. Every day, that's what your trade is. If you can do 20% every single day on that $100, you've just doubled your money in a week. Do that again the next week, and then do that again the next week, and then do that again the next week. And eventually, your $100 trades are going to become $1,000 trades. You're going to put $1,000 of capital into a trade, and then you'll be able to double that. And then you'll move to $2,000 and $3,000, or you just stay at $2,000. Like for me, guys, I trade between $1,000 and $2,000 in capital on every trade. My account is larger for me to pull from, and that's not to discourage any of you. Concentrate on the percentages. Pull out those base hits, those 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, but let the targets and let the candlesticks stop you out on a smaller time frame, especially if you're trading options. And I guess that's the list. Marlon wanted to go over Apple. And if there's anything you guys want me to take a look at before we sign off here, you let me know, and we'll go over them. So Apple, we had a 2-up red. So I looked at this while I was setting up the charts, Marlon, and there's a couple things here. So yes, it's a 2-up red, okay, but we are showing a hammer candle here. So to me, I probably would be looking for Apple to trend back to the upside if I was looking at it. This isn't a clear and significant setup for me. This isn't something that I would look at. I know a lot of people play Apple, but for me, there's not enough. I really don't think there's there's not enough information here. So the daily and the weekly are both showing red. We've got green on the month. And not that I look at these. I really concentrate on just the hourly and the daily because my trades are only, I always say it, 3 minutes to an hour long. These are the two I concentrate on. But if the week is pointing down, there's conflict with me here because we are 2-up, we are red, but we are a hammer candle. If this was a 2-down red hammer candle, I'd probably be a little bit more on board with it going to the upside, to the downside. If we were at, a 2-down red, and I'd look for a continuation. But when we're 2-up red with a hammer, again, there's two conflicting things there. You have a 2-up, but you're red, but you also have a hammer. Okay, so I would like to see that as a 2-up green, and we could look for a 2-2 continuation there. But a little bit of conflict there. So I know there's not a lot of people watching right now, but if you guys are here and you have questions, feel free to ask them, and I will answer them for you. I'll give you guys a couple seconds here, and if not, then that's it. Okay, well, it looks like you guys don't have anything, so good luck on Lotto Friday, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. If you don't need to trade on Friday, you don't need to trade. Not trading is a plan, okay? Sitting on your hands is also a plan. You don't have to trade every day. Don't go into FOMO thinking you're going to miss out on a trade. The stock market isn't going anywhere. There's thousands of setups every single day. You miss one, so what? Move on to the next one. Okay? Make sure you guys are subscribed down below. Get a hold of me on Twitter. You can follow me there at Mr. Clark Griswold. And join up on that Discord. The link is in the description below. Have a great weekend, guys. Good luck trading on Friday. And we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.